Epic showdown in Tokyo. Rybakina versus Fernandez. Grand Slam drama unleashed. Let's go. Tokyo nights have their own rhythm. The hum of neon lights, the scent of rain-soaked pavement, the echo of distant cheers blending with the pulse of the city. But on this particular night, the rhythm was broken, replaced by the electric tension of a tennis match that had transcended sport. Inside the Ariake Coliseum, the crowd was a living heartbeat, thousands holding their breath as two warriors, Elena Rybakina and Leylah Fernandez, faced each other across the net. What began as a match soon evolved into something else entirely, a battle of wills, a collision of styles, and a symphony of resilience. The Tokyo Open semifinal was never supposed to be this intense. Yet destiny had other plans. The calm before the storm. Elena Rybakina, the Kazakh powerhouse, entered the court like a glacier, cold, precise, and unshakably composed. Her game was a study in geometry, flat lines, perfect angles, ruthless efficiency. She had built her reputation on calm dominance, the kind of quiet that terrified opponents before a single ball was struck. Across the net stood Leylah Fernandez, smaller, fiery, unpredictable, a player powered by emotion and energy, by the roar of the crowd and the pulse of her own heart. While Rybakina was logic, Fernandez was instinct. Where Rybakina studied patterns, Fernandez wrote poetry midpoint. Their contrast was almost cinematic, ice versus fire, silence versus song. As they walked to the baseline, you could feel it, the air thick with something primal. Rybakina tightened her wristband. Fernandez bounced on her toes, grinning. The umpire's voice echoed. Time. Ready? Play. And with that, the storm began. Act 1, the power surge. From the first serve, it was clear. Rybakina came to dominate. Her first serve, a cannonball, struck like thunder, clocking in at 196 kilometers per hour. Fernandez barely saw it. Her return sailing long. Ace. 15-0. Another serve. Another ace. The crowd gasped. Elena's in full control, whispered the commentators. When she's locked in like this, it's like trying to stop a machine. But Leylah was no ordinary opponent. After losing the first 2 games, she began to adjust, reading Rybakina's patterns like a chess grandmaster. She absorbed pace, redirected it, and began using her trademark counterpunching magic, turning defense into art. At 3-1 down, Fernandez found her spark. She sprinted to a wide forehand, slid across the hardcourt like a dancer, and whipped a curling backhand cross-court that painted the line. The crowd erupted. That was a shot that flipped the energy. From there, the rallies grew longer, fiercer, and more personal. Every point was dialogue, Rybakina's surgical precision versus Fernandez's unpredictable rhythm. The sound of the ball echoed like a heartbeat. Thud, thud, crack. When Fernandez finally broke serve to level 4-4, she pumped her fist, shouting, Vamos, as the Tokyo crowd thundered in approval. Act 2, emotion meets precision. Tennis, at its core, is psychological warfare. And tonight, both players had entered the trenches. Rybakina's face never changed. Even when Fernandez pulled off an outrageous passing shot, she simply walked back to the line, expression unreadable. But beneath that icy exterior, something was stirring. For the first time, her precision faltered. Double fault. Then another, the unthinkable. Fernandez broke to take the set 6-4. The crowd exploded into a chorus of cheers and camera flashes. Fernandez waved to them, chest heaving, eyes burning with passion. She had taken down the glacier, at least for now. But champions don't crumble, they calculate. Act 3, the return of the queen. Between sets, Rybakina sat silently, towel over her head. Her coach's voice in the distance. Stay patient. Stay still. When she rose, she looked different, sharper, more dangerous. The second set began like a storm breaking through silence. Rybakina unleashed a barrage of flat winners that barely cleared the net, slicing to the court like light through glass. Her serve regained its rhythm. Her footwork became poetry in motion, and her eyes locked onto Fernandez with renewed focus. Game after game, she dismantled Leylah's rhythm. 2, 0, 3-0, 4-0. Fernandez fought to slow the momentum, rushing the net, slicing, lobbing, anything to disrupt the flow. But Rybakina was now untouchable, painting the lines with laser precision. 6-1. Set to Rybakina. No celebration. Just quiet fury. Act 4, the decider. Tokyo on fire. The final set began past midnight, but no one in Tokyo dared leave their seat. The arena had transformed into an amphitheater of raw emotion. Rybakina struck first, breaking Fernandez early, 2-1. But as the crowd chanted Leela, Leela, something ignited in the young Canadian. She responded with a flurry of fearless returns, breaking back immediately with a forehand winner that skimmed the baseline by millimeters. Both players were running on adrenaline now, bodies slick with sweat, lungs heaving. At 4-4, the longest rally of the night unfolded. 27 brutal shots. Fernandez chased everything, sliding, stretching, screaming as she refused to surrender. Rybakina, calm as ever, directed the ball corner to corner until finally she fired a forehand bullet down the line. Winner. But Layla smiled. Even in defeat at that point, she grinned, because she knew she was making Rybakina feel. Act V, the final game. 5-5, then 6-5. Match point Rybakina. The stadium fell into complete silence. Tokyo, the city that breeds drama. The city itself seemed to play a role that night. Rain pattered softly on the stadium roof. The giant LED screens glowed with reflections of faces from every corner of the world, united in awe. Outside, fans waved flags and shouted in different languages, but one chant echoed loudest. Let's Gilo. That universal battle cry of passion. The same one that fans scream at 2 a.m., that kids yell while holding their first racket. Because tennis, at its best, isn't just about who wins. It's about why we watch. We watch because two people on opposite sides of a net can express everything human. Fear, hope, courage, heartbreak, without saying a word. The legacy of a match. In the weeks that followed, analysts would call it one of the matches of the season. Not because of the scoreline, but because of the story. The evolution of two athletes who brought out the best in each other. Rybakina went on to win the Tokyo title, but in her victory speech, she did something rare. She invited Fernandez onto the stage. This trophy, she said, belongs to both of us tonight. Because without her fire, I wouldn't have found my strength. The crowd roared. Cameras flashed. Two rivals, two warriors, two artists, united under the Tokyo night. Epilogue, Fire and Ice. As they left the stadium, a photographer captured one last image. Rybakina and Fernandez walking side by side down a hallway, laughing softly, their rackets slung over their shoulders. In that moment, there was no ice, no fire, just mutual respect. Rybakina, the architect of calm, had rediscovered her emotion. Fernandez, the queen of chaos, had refined her control. Together, they had created something timeless, a match that would live in memory, not just for its brilliance, but for its soul. Because in the end, Tokyo wasn't just a battleground. It was a canvas. And together, Rybakina and Fernandez painted their masterpiece. Thank you for watching. Please don't forget to hit the subscribe button, like, and share. Till next time.